Hi friends, welcome to another coffee episode. Today we're going to be looking at making cold brew coffee. Now as we so often do, I want to address why you would make cold brew coffee over a standard cup. So cold brew actually heightens the sweetness of coffee and gets rid of a lot of the unpleasant bitterness that you otherwise find. If you're someone who's been sort of on the fence of coffee and you might prefer sugar with your coffee, cold brew is a great way to try it out without sugar. You may still want it, but you may find out that the coffee is sweet enough to drink on its own. So today I'm going to be brewing two different kinds of cold brew. I got a traditional caffeinated single origin groundwork coffee, and I have a decaf Rock Canyon blend of coffee. So I already have the caffeinated version ready and brewing. We're going to start on the decaffeinated version, and I'll give you a rundown on how it all works together. So this is a nice cold brew tower. Whatever kind of cold brew tower you have, whether homemade or found at the store, there are three parts to it that are really essential. There's the part of the cold brew tower that holds the ice water, part of the cold brew tower that holds your grinds and filters, and the part of your tower that collects it all. This section over here, as far as I know, it's decoration. If you know more about cold brew towers, leave a comment in the description below. I'd love to know what it's for. All I know is that it makes it look very cool. In addition to a cold brew tower, you'll also need some cold water, some ice, some filters. These filters are the filters that you would use in an AeroPress or something similar. They're a very small circle filter, as well as a stone. And these stones typically come with your cold brew kit. They are porous and they allow the coffee to seep through but keep all the grounds out of it. Alright, let's get started with the decaf coffee. As far as ratios go, brewing cold brew coffee is pretty similar to brewing French press coffee. I'm sure again there's a scientific way to calculate how much water to how much coffee there is, but I typically do about a cup of coffee. And you're going to want to grind your beans at the coarsest setting possible. So we'll take our grounds and we'll pull this piece out, take our stone, and that'll go at the bottom, and then fill it up with grounds. And I'm noticing there's not much coffee there, so I'm actually going to go with 2/3 cup of coffee. Always making a mess. With our grounds back in the container, we're going to set that back in the cold brew tower. Make sure that it's lined up with the ice chamber. And here's where you're going to pull out that AeroPress filter. They're very thin. You just need one of them. And that'll go right on top of your fresh grounds. Now that you have your grounds with your stone on the bottom and your filter on top, we're going to fill up this ice container. Hey, Willy. Hi. Cool, huh? Once you have it filled up with ice, take your cold water and add it to the ice. That fills up your container. So this cold brew comes with a cover for the ice container. If you don't have one that has an ice cover, just make sure it's in a place that's going to be free of debris falling into it, such as dirt. That will get directly in your coffee and taste gross. So from the ice with the ice water, we're going to come down to this little spigot, and you're going to want to adjust it so that drips of coffee are falling about once a second. We're going to slow that down a little bit. Once you have the coffee falling at a rate that you like, you can just set it aside and watch it over the next couple hours, just to make sure that it continues to fall at a drip a second sort of rate. Cold brew coffee is more involved than your traditional brewing methods of coffee, but it does produce a delicious cup of coffee that provides a lot more caffeine if you're into that sort of thing, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. So I'm going to let these run for the next couple hours. There's really not a lot to say about the end process, just if you want to put it in a separate container after it's done, that's totally fine. Mine has its own containers, but there's not really much to say about it. With that said, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.